Konnichiwa. Hello everyone. Right, so first week down, going in through Japan. Tokyo was pretty cool. I stayed in the Shinjuku province and yeah, pretty busy place, but lots to see. First thing I probably noticed was that a lot of unexpected things in areas, like you wander around and there's things down wee alleyways and things like that. So yeah, like you could explore for a long time and find different things each day going down the same street, which is really cool. I even come across some batting cages, the baseball. So it was, yeah, reasonably priced, so I had a go at that, and yeah, that was good fun. Baseball's a reasonably big thing here, which was surprising. So I ended up watching a game between Japan and the United States at a bar, and yeah, there's a few people watching that. So that, yeah, pretty cool. The place that I was staying at had a big Godzilla on the roof, and as you can see, as the smoke pouring out and roars and everything, I think it does it from mid 11 o'clock in the morning through to 6 p.m. or something like that, and on the hour, yeah, which was quite hard case. And yeah, I ended up at a place called the Sai Bar, which I had no idea. I just stumbled across it, and apparently it's quite a popular bar in Tokyo. Lots of musicians go there, and they play rock music, and very small bar. Like there was no way you'd get. There was probably 20 people in there, and it was packed. So I just managed to land there at the right time to be able to get a seat. And met a guy from Finland who's a musician himself, and a couple from Australia. So yeah, quite a few foreigners around. And then I went to Kyoto. I took the bullet train, which was a really good way to travel, nice and fast, but you get to see a lot of the countryside on your way through, so that was really good, really good. And yeah, got into Kyoto, and Kyoto was very cool. A wee bit more chilled than Tokyo, but yeah, very cool place. So while I was there, I went and checked out the Higashi Honganji Temple, which apparently is the biggest wooden structure in the world. Beautiful, beautiful temple. And I arrived just before they started prayer time, so it was quite nice to just sit and be and listen and take in. Yeah, yeah, amazing place and history. So apparently it had been rebuilt in 1894, originally built in 12th century. So yeah, yeah, lots of history there. Beautiful place. And then I went up the Kyoto Tower. So to give you an idea of how big the city is, these photos are from all four sides of up top. And yeah, big city, and coming from New Zealand, yeah, it's quite mind blowing. um, and then I really wanted to watch some live music, so I was trying to hunt around for that. Not massively common, so I did find a live music venue, the Kyoto Muse, and there was a band called Pale Dusk, which were a metalcore band from Japan, and it was sold out, but I managed to get a ticket, and I went in, and as soon as I opened the door, that was it. There was no room. I could just get in the door, and that was it. 350 people in there, and turns out the like a reasonably big band in the metal scene here in Japan. Um, the Japanese crowd go crazy. I tell you, I saw a couple of few bleeding noses, and there was punches and roundhouse kicks and all sorts going on. Sweat dripping from the ceiling. Uh, but great band. They played really well, and the crowd were into it. The most interesting thing I find is that when the band had finished playing, the crowd went woo and then stopped, and you could hear a pin drop out of all 300. Like there was no sound at all, and they just waited till they started the next song. Whereas back home, you generally it's cheered and noise and that until you start playing the next song. So yeah, I found that quite different. But that was really really cool, and I bumped into a guy from the UK who was there, and he saw I was trying to translate on my phone to someone, and he come up and had a yarn to me, and I ended up spending the evening with him and his work colleagues and friends, and yeah, chilling by the river with them. So that was pretty cool. They work in Japan, so yeah. Then before I left, I went to the Kenbu Samurai Theatre, or Kyoto Samurai Theatre, to try out Samurai Kenbu, and very interesting for something I thought was going to be reasonably easy, swinging a sword around. It was actually difficult. The whole thing, the your body position and everything. There was lots to remember in a short amount of time, but very heaps of fun. I enjoyed that. I've been a fan of martial arts and things like that for a long time. I'm very interested in it. Haven't done a lot myself, but I've been very interested in it, and so that was really cool to do. So if you are in Kyoto, I highly recommend you do the hour-and-a-half class and learn, and they teach you a traditional routine, like a choreographed, almost like a dance, but which they used to do for pre-battle apparently. So yeah, very cool, very cool. And then I just took the normal train down to Osaka, and which is where I am currently, and Osaka's a little bit more laid back again, but very cool. And I went a bit crazy on the street market food last night, but it was very good. Like stick food, katsu, I think it's called, stick, meaning stick. So, but yeah, very delicious, very nice. And then there's a bar here in called Long Beach Cafe and Bar, I think it's called. And the owner is from Long Beach, California, Chad, and he's been here for 20 years. And when I bumped into him during the day, he was just happened to be there, and I talked to him for a little bit, and he said that what he tries to do, especially in the evening, is to connect foreigners with locals, and help with conversation, and so that everyone connects and has a good time. And the last 2 nights I've ended up there before I've come back to my lodging, and it's fantastic night. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Chad. It's a big help and great nights. So yeah, um, I so yeah, pretty much just walking around Osaka, through all the sort of market areas and things like that, and yeah, it's today I'm going to head to Osaka Castle and go and check that out. It's currently raining at the moment, so that'll be interesting. But there's umbrellas everywhere, so it must rain here on and off quite often in Japan. Um, so with regards to the people and culture, it's very hard to have a conversation. Not a lot of people speak English here, and I uh, have talked to a Japanese gentleman in Tokyo, and he was very drunk, but he could speak very good English. He was had studied in Canada for a wee while, so yeah, so it was good to talk to him, and I asked him about sort of pre and post pandemic and how living in Japan's been and things like that, and I said, "Oh, you speak very good English," and he said, "Oh, yes." He told me about his study, and he said that it hasn't been very long at all that people have started speaking English here, so to strike up a conversation, it's easier with younger people than older. You'll find that they may speak English, and apparently females will speak more English than males. Males will tend to go to business school or study economics and business and commerce, and then the females are more likely to probably study a bit of English. So yeah, lots of so the most of the people I've talked to have been foreigners here, from Germany, Finland, Australia, like all over the place. But yeah, having so yeah, being able to strike up a conversation with this Japanese gentleman was really good. There's a guy from the United States who had been living in Japan for 10 years. He works here. He's married to a Japanese woman, and yeah, he said that I said, "Have you found it tough, like making friends and stuff like that here, being a foreigner?" And he said, "Yeah, it's really hard." And apparently, with the culture and that, like, it doesn't take much for you to step a foot out of line, and it's very hard to get that trust and friendship back. So yeah, and even Chad, the barman that I've been talking to here in Osaka, he said the same thing. So yeah, very interesting. But I kind of like that because you know where you stand, and I do like that with with people, where people are straight up, and yeah, you know where you stand with them at all times. So I do respect that. But yeah, I asked the Japanese gentleman if there was a lot of if there was any pushback from the people against like things going on with the pandemic and stuff like that, and he said no. He said apparently because of World War II, the Japanese people don't want conflict whatsoever. So they just want to have a nice, quiet, easy life, and they just do what has to be done to achieve that, which is interesting, because for me, if I feel things are wrong, then you fight. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. Yeah, so all in all, yeah, great people, and of everywhere I've been, just been in Japan on my own. I'm not with a guided tour in Japan, so I've just been very much on my own, but I've felt very safe no matter where I am, and it's very beautiful country. So yeah, I yes, I head back to Tokyo tomorrow, and then I'm there for a couple of days, and then fly out on Tuesday to go to Thailand. So my next video will be from there, and I'll be with a group tour there, so it'll be a bit easier to connect with people and things like that than it has been here, but I have been able to do that here nonetheless. So yeah, I will catch you next Friday when the next video goes up, and yeah, hope you enjoy, and catch you then.